Smack talking raw, where the legends live and the rookies get schooled in law. This ain't just talk. This is smack talking raw. You ready, Pinky? Twitch always Ron. Let's lay the smack down. Boom.
Welcome to another episode of Smack Talking Raw. I'm your boy Pinky, and look who we got, guys. Ron Stradamus.
What's up, guys? What's happening? Let's get to it, Pinky. How's your day, brother?
Buddy. Oh man, I'm hurting. I'm hurting, my friend. It was a long weekend. Let me know I'm not a young buck no more. I gotta, just get in where I fit in. And I need to recover from the weekend. Thankfully, I only got 3 days of work this week.
So, what was your favorite part of Metallica, Limp Bizkit? Like, who was all playing this week?
It was Limp Bizkit and Pantera were the two main openers, and then Metallica played two separate sets, Friday and Sunday. Sunday's show was off the hook. It was awesome. Like that show blew Friday out of the water.
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh man, it was so good. We were really close Sunday, closer than we were Friday. And I tell you, man, I learned I'm old. I'm real old. Friday, I felt no pain. No pain on Friday. Man, we hit the floor Sunday. Just walked into the stadium and hit the floor, and my back was like, "What are you doing?"
We also got a chance to watch Night of Champions, which was really cool as well. Just getting a chance to spend time with each other and actually put some wrestling down. That was pretty cool. We'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah, man, I was having FOMO because I was going to go with you originally, and then I didn't know when my kidney transplant surgery was going to happen, and that happened on the 10th. So there was no way I was going to be able to go. But I will give you some good news. I'm feeling fantastic. Tomorrow's 3 weeks since surgery, and I feel really, really like Ironman right now. I'm ready to get in the ring. Let's go.
I like the sound of that. Oh, buddy. Well, let's chop it up a little bit. Tell us how you're doing, my man. Tell us how you're feeling.
Man, the main thing is that I have a little bit of dull pain. The major part of the pain is gone. It's just the body healing up and just really being obedient to allowing the body to heal, because when you're healing from the inside out, because they had to cut me open to put in the kidney, you just have to give it time to heal. So it's like, can't do too much. Got to have a certain amount of rest. You got to do all the things that the doctors ask you to do. And so far I've been being a great patient. My the main director of the hospital, they were saying today that all things considered, I'm way ahead of schedule right now. They actually authorized me to do some light lifting, definitely get out and start getting some serious cardio in and stuff. So I'm feeling really good, and I'm feeling really motivated to get this body, this 53-year-old body right now. By the time I'm 55, I'm going to be looking like, finally, the Rock has come back. That's right. That's where we're going.
Oh, buddy. Yeah, I tell you, I just like food too much. I don't know.
Well, you can like food and be ripped, my friend.
Yeah, it's still a lot of work, though. So it just depends on how much work you want to put in.
That's true. I'm ready to get to it. So as you're watching the program, one of the things that I want to encourage everybody is drop a like or comment. There's something that you see inside of our program, and get the word out. We're talking real things about Smack Talk and Raw. We're not like other podcasts, what have you. We're two wrestling fans just like you guys. and we love this stuff, and we want to make sure that we improve the product by giving great content. I got a letter out to Paul Levesque, tell him that he needs to put me on his writing staff so we can write better programs than what we have currently going on. But anyway, that's my side of it. Let's get to it, Pinky. Talk to us.
Well, let's talk to the people a little bit about Night of Champions, since we did get to spend some time together. Check it out. And I guess before Night of Champions was SmackDown. That Tiffany Stratton Nia Jax match. Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
And after that match, because a last woman standing match and a street fight are very similar.
Yes.
And I watched that Tiffany and Nia match after we watched Night of Champions. Had I watched that match before Night of Champions, it would have ruined the Rhea Ripley match for me, because that match was on nowhere, not even on the same level of Tiffany and Nia.
Right.
Like that, they needed to turn that notch up on that match after Tiffany. Like Rhea and Raquel should have been in the back. Like, hey, did you see what Tiffany and Nia did last night? Like, we got to come even harder than that. Like, let's put our brains together and let's figure out some stuff that's new and different and over the top, and we can top that match. We've got to be better than that.
Especially being on a premium live event. You know what I mean? Like, especially being on a PLE.
And that was good. I mean, it was good. There was nothing bad about that Rhea match, but it just, that Tiffany and Nia, man, they work well together. Their feud makes sense. They tell a great story in the ring, man. I'm digging it. So I know.
How come that match wasn't on Night of Champions?
I don't know. Because I don't know. None of that makes sense to me. None of that makes sense to me that, again, we had title matches not on Night of Champions. Night of Champions, there should be 4 title matches. However you want to do it, 4 of them. And then the king and queen of the ring. Then we got our 6 matches. We're solid. We're good. So.
Yeah, man, we're up against it, but we'll get more into the talk about that. So continue, Maestro.
All right, partner. So, Night of Champions started out with a banger, man. I was, man, that Cody and Randy match was dope. It just and I did enjoy. Randy is so good at selling that he's got a back injury. Man, what a master class of like making me feel like I'm worried about the guy. I'm like,
right.
I got a bad back. I'm nursing mine right now, and I'm not even in a ring. So watching that go back and forth, and then seeing Cody, you saw it, started to attack that back, started to do, what a heel would say is he did what he needed to do to win the match. But a babyface normally is not going to go after a guy's injury. They're going to try to win clean, right? They're not going to consistently attack that spot. But they had him do it. So I think this is setting it up, man. This is the breadcrumbs.
Well, and then also Randy being confronted with punting Cody Rhodes. That was a big part of the story too, because Cody was there and he's like, I need to do it, but I can't do it and everything like that. So that was another breadcrumb there that Randy's going to go one way and Cody's going to go the other way. I just really am bummed out at the fact that they didn't really amplify this match. This was a very, very high end match. It started off the night and it did an outstanding job of setting the tone for the remainder of the show. But Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton, the legacy of legacy, right? They had such a big thing that they could have done to just really boost this up. And I just felt like the writing team didn't really capture that enough. But the match was good. The match was good. It was way above average. I'm not going to say it's great. It's not on the match of the year candidate or anything like that, but it was really good to watch. What do you think?
Yeah, really enjoyable. And again, I know we had talked about it on last week's show, that when you got two baby faces coming together, the one thing it does is it just the crowd doesn't know who to boo or cheer for, and you're kind of like, at the end of the day, you don't cheer as hard because you're okay with whoever wins, right? And we talked about that. Like, if Randy won, we'd be cool with it. It makes sense. If Cody wins, he's the quarterback, it makes sense. So it just led you to go, like, why? Like, why did we make these two guys go up against each other? This is a match that, again, you could have, before SummerSlam or one of the future PLEs in the fall, where you start, one of them changes, and now you've got something to create that storyline, something to create that feud, right? And the Saudi crowd, they were hyped.
Super hyped. I wanted to be in that crowd. Like, I was sitting there, I was like, I've never seen anything like this. That would have been super dope to be in that crowd.
Don't listen to this guy. He was literally like planning a trip on his phone. Like, he was like, where can we go internationally, Pinky? He's like, Pinky's dad, you coming too? Let's go. Like, he was ready to rock and roll somewhere internationally. So, which is not a bad idea.
It's not a bad idea. Me, you, and your dad, I was like trying to convince your dad, Bill. I was like, hey, Bill, you want to go? And then he started telling us a story of how he wanted a trip. That was, after you left, I sat and thought about, after I saw the Randy Orton hurting his back, this is how I would have booked this thing. And watch this, how WWE could have done something so much better. Randy Orton hurts his back in the middle of the match. He somehow pins Cody Rhodes to win. But then his back is so bad, WWE medical officials say that Randy Orton cannot go on to SummerSlam to fight. So Cody Rhodes, by default, gets the title shot with John Cena and then wins it. They get to reestablish this feud down the line when Randy comes back, so that it keeps Cody and Randy fresh, so that they can have another match later on. And Randy comes out and he says, I actually should have gotten that title shot at SummerSlam. And now they start to build their rivalry even bigger, as opposed to having Cody just going over on Randy. What do you think about that?
I mean, that works too. That works. It's believable. And at least it has, some meaning behind it. And we talked about it. I think as we continue on, when we keep having a PLE every like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we just don't have time to build these feuds and stories. So then you don't get the overall excitement. The excitement was you get to see Randy and Cody, two of the top guys. That was the excitement. But if there had been some, Randy going back to being a butthead and, really going after Cody, what would they have done for that crowd? What have they done for all of us here at home? We'd have been on fire on it. But
total fire.
It was good. It was a good match, though. I can't fault it. We did pretty much say 1,000% Cody would win, and he did. He made us look smart. Just, not match of the year, and it's not in the. If it was, it would be maybe on the honorable mention list,
right?
But it wasn't.
I don't think it's going to be one of those matches we look back at the end of the year and be like, okay, this was especially after we go after our list also. So those of you that are watching today, we're going to be talking about our top 5 best matches of the year so far with some special mentions. We're going to do primarily WWE, but I have my secondary list, which is all from the other organizations. So next, Mr. Pinky.
Let's see what else came down. Was it Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross next after that one? Or no, that was Rhea.
No, Rhea and Raquel. What I thought about this match is that it was good. It was good to see Raquel and Rhea get after it with each other. But to your point, I did see the Friday Night SmackDown street fight. And Rhea Ripley is supposed to be this monstrous woman going out there and doing some big things. I just didn't feel it from her. And I thought that they should have given Raquel the nod over Rhea because she's the tag team champion. And I had said it last week that it would have been really cool if Raquel and Rhea had a banger. And then all of a sudden, Raquel's like, I want you to be my tag team partner kind of thing. I agree with you now that they're going to go Roxanne and Rhea. I mean, Roxanne and Raquel. But what a great tag team that would be to put Raquel and Rhea together. And they have this passion for we're both ass kickers. Let's go out there and ass kick together kind of thing.
Oh yeah, the women of destruction, or
yeah,
whatever. Like you could, there's a name there somewhere. And I will say, I've kind of noticed that some of the Rhea matches lately. I don't know if she's not all in or there's just something off.
Yeah,
something off with Rhea lately. Not exactly sure what it is, but I will say the finisher, which happened to be an actual finisher, was pretty cool. I would have liked a little bit more lift off of that table, but it served its purpose.
Man, that was dangerous on that table, bro. Don't even go there. When those two women got up on that table, I was like, this could be like one of those moments.
I think they were supposed to get both legs out so that both legs were over the ropes and keeping it steady. And right. I don't know. I think it was Raquel who put it up there.
Right. And didn't put it up right.
She got the one up, but she didn't go and do the second one. So that was dangerous. I know that the dads and us were like, oh, girls, don't.
Right.
Don't do it. Don't hurt yourself. But the riptide off the table, that's always fun when you see a riptide go from, at a higher point. And especially a riptide of Raquel Rodriguez, which is already hard enough to get up there, but then to do it off of a table. But this is almost like it should have been off of the table through a table. Right.
To end the match, for sure. From a regular table to a Slim Jim table. Next.
Hey, you were happy. There were no Slim Jims in Saudi Arabia. There was no advertising.
My alarms for my workday are going off, and I apologize for that, guys.
Oh, all good, partner. All good. So overall, good match. But after we saw what Tiffy and Nia did, it didn't reach that level, and that was kind of disappointing.
Yes.
Oh.
Better effort, though. I mean, just going over the first two matches that we saw, definitely a better indication of what it is that they're trying to do to get back to a better programming than they have been the last couple of PLEs. So, bravo.
Yeah, I mean, the matches, for the most part, the matches were okay. We'll talk about the one that I think is probably the worst. Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross. I felt so bad for Karrion because I don't think he did enough to really ignite that flame that he needs to get this thing going. They have held him back. They haven't booked him much. They've made him 30 seconds of TV time, or during commercial break, he's getting his TV time. He's been one of the characters in the shadows and not getting that full push. And I was hoping that this match would give him that ability to really shine. I think it was okay, but I think he really needed to come out and this match needed to be the best match of the night to really get him going where he needs to go.
Yeah, he's kind of the LA Knight character right now, but he hit the wrong note. LA Knight hit it and he blossomed from it, and Karrion Kross kind of did this. But they can still bring him back up, but I don't know why you don't give somebody that's as popular as Karrion Kross right now in the internet world community to give him the nod, man. Give him the nod. Let him get a victory. Sami Zayn, he's going to win a world title. That's what they keep. The narrative is. They're constantly saying Sami Zayn's going to win a world title. He's never won a world title. So obviously Sami Zayn is going to win a world title here in the not too distant future. They're saying it on WWE program every single week. He's never won a title. He was an NXT champion. He's been an Intercontinental champion. He's done this. He's done that. But he's not gotten the world title.
2026, Sammy's winning a world title. I believe it.
And I hope somebody cashes in on him the same moment. So there's that.
Such a hater, Ron. Such a hater. So, yeah, fine. Match was good. Nothing bad. But we would have liked to see Karrion Kross shine a little bit more. I'd like to see Scarlett shine some more, you know? She's cool. And, yeah, she doesn't get enough to do either. So that's a bummer.
Yeah.
Then we had Fatu and Solo.
Yes.
And you called it. You called it. I went back and listened. I was like, did he call that one? You called my heartbreak. You said Solo was going to win and he was going to become champ. And he did. Tell the people about it. I'm still sad about it.
You know, the gift is in the chase. You know what I mean? So sometimes if you're the champion and you're a badass, people kind of take you for granted. But if you get screwed over and you're a badass, now Fatu gets a chance to be like Stone Cold. You know, wild, I'm going to get your ass, Solo. I'm going to get you, Hakaleo, which is now Takaloa or whatever, Hike, whatever his name is now.
Talatanga.
Right. So we're going to get all of those things from the chase of Fatu chasing after Solo. I don't think that Fatu gets the title back. I think that ultimately after this run, he's going after world titles at this point. Fatu is he's a special character, special. And in that vein, I think that he's a future undisputed WWE champion, and that could be as soon as WrestleMania 42 in Vegas.
Man, that'd be a quick rise, man.
Dude, he's a superstar. The things he does as a big man is just not. I mean, I'm 200 pounds even. You're a couple 100 pounds even. So he's jumping up on the top rope and doing moonsaults and everything like that, and he's 3 and some change. He's doing it effortlessly.
I want to say he's 3. I'm 270. I'm 6 foot. I want to say like Braun Breaker and I are like almost the same. I think he's an inch or 2 taller than me. We were about the same weight, and the things that guy can do at that weight is just stupid.
Yes, preposterous, right?
Fatu's the same way. When he knows when he got slammed, what was that suplex, reverse suplex, and he just popped right up from it because it looked like he was supposed to sell that he got hit on the face, but he didn't, and he popped right up. And Solo was doing his dance
thing, right.
And then Fatu got him. I was like, oh man. I had a lot of fun with this. Again, I am a Fatu guy. I love that character. I will forever, like, I quote it, man. I'll be in the car with Harmony and I'll be like, I'm gonna whoop your ass from coast to coast, post to post. Y'all know what I mean? Like,
you know what I mean?
She just started laughing. Daddy, you crazy? I'm like, yeah, I'm crazy. So
the thing that my takeaway though is about this match is the Bloodline storyline's been going on for 5 years, which is one of the longest ever campaigns for a stable. And in order for Triple H, WWE, and all of the parties involved, they've got to take it up a notch, because I'm kind of getting stale with the program. Solo Sikoa, and it was so predictable that Solo Sikoa was going to lose the title, that there was going to be interference that Fatu was going to lose the title, Solo Sikoa was going to win the title, it was going to be interference, because Solo Sikoa hasn't been built to be a superstar. He's been getting his ass kicked for an entire year when he was the enforcer of the original Bloodline, right? And so the story's got to match, because then you bring in Fatu, who's supposed to take over Solo's role, but he does Solo's role better than Solo did it. And so, right, it's just really, they're trying to make lemon lemonade out of lemons right now because they're trying to keep the storyline going until Roman comes back, until the whole other bloodline gets together so they can have a Survivor Series match again and all that sort of stuff. So anyway, Triple H needs to realize that it's over. He's got to find a way to just dismantle this thing.
I got a question for you.
Yes.
So, besides Solo, any of these new Bloodline characters have any charisma? Have any
None.
like? Do we care?
That's what I'm saying. Nobody cares about any of these people. Like I remember, so going back to the original Bloodline, you had Roman who terrorized Jimmy and Jay. Remember, Roman forced them to come to be a part of him, right? It wasn't like they went and recruited. He's like, I'm going to beat your ass, and then you go and fall in line behind the tribal chief. And then so remember, he was having the match against Jay, and then Jimmy comes in to help him, and he's choking out Jimmy and making Jay watch while he's choking out Jimmy. And then that was brilliant because he's like, all right, now you guys understand what's up. Fall in line behind the tribal chief. Then Sami Zayn, he comes off of his match with the Jackass guy, and he comes into the locker room with the Bloodline, and he's trying to hype it up and everything like that. And he just kind of starts rolling with the Bloodline. Well, Jey Uso, he was always the standoff guy. He didn't talk to nobody. He was just like the heavy. And then so the storyline played out because each of the characters got to develop. They're not developing anyone.
Well, I will say, like most of the guys in the Bloodline, wrestling, they're all fine. They're all good wrestlers. They will all put on decent matches in the ring. JC Mateo has literally no anything. I'm like, he's a big heavy that does some cool stuff. That his whirlwind, sideways slam finisher is pretty awesome.
Yep.
But there's no, I just don't care. He's in the ring. I don't care. There's nothing about him that's enjoyable. He's not enjoyable enough to hate.
Right.
Like there's just nothing
they're not beating people down and making you hate them because they're doing anything of any significance. That's what I've been talking about the product.
The Tonga brothers, good in the ring, really good wrestlers. Most of the time I'm like, meh. There's just nothing to them. And that's now we've got a whole stable of guys behind Solo who I think's done a great job building up his character and building up just like who he is. He can be he can be the enforcer, he can be the Don, he can be the funny guy. He can be the guy who's trying to bring people together. I think he's done a great job building this character, but now we got a bunch of guys behind him that just who cares?
Yeah, has no identity at all. They're not even good big heavies or what have you. But anywho, I'm going to complain about the product till they get it right. So there's that. Next.
So Fatu lost. I cried. Ron cheered because he was right, and we moved on. The worst match of the night: Jade Cargill versus Asuka.
Yeah.
And I know we were on opposite sides of the fence here. I went back and I listened and I was like, I understand your view on Asuka. I understand like why that made sense. They're gonna get a SummerSlam match with Asuka and Io Sky anyways. That's coming. They already dropped those little breadcrumbs. Asuka trying to talk to Io. That's happening. They're gonna build that up without having to use the Queen of the Ring. That's why Jade winning that kind of made a lot of sense. But again, every time I watch a Jade match, I'm just like, here's this woman that's supposed to be just so awesome and amazing and dominant, and she's slow and she's I don't know. There's just nothing about her.
She's the Andre of the women's division. And I'm not talking about the young Andre. I'm talking about the Andre that Hogan slammed at WrestleMania 3.
Yeah, he was pretty lifeless at that point,
right?
But
she looks exhausted when she's in the ring, like her cardio is not there. Like she's like doing this, she has a chokehold on Asuka, and she's like, and her promo after the fact, right? This is what made me mad, and I didn't say it on Saturday, but looking back at it, she was like, I'm the victim. You guys don't, it takes hard work to get in here. And she's like trying to just put herself over that she's doing the work and she's getting in there. No, no, no. If you're doing the work will show. You're not doing the work. You're not putting in the commitment to get it done. And that's the reason why you're not getting it done. Like people that put in the work to get it done, guess what happens? They get it, it shows up. Your Becky Lynch's, if she was in that match with Asuka, the level of that match would have come up a little bit, right? If you'd have put Lyra Valkyria in that match, it would have raised up a little bit.
You don't even like Lyra.
I don't even like Lyra. Oh my God. Anyway. So I think that what this is leading towards is I think that Jade Cargill is going to win the title from Tiffany Stratton, and that Naomi's going to cash in on Jade Cargill at SummerSlam in New York.
Oh man. I mean, I can see it. I have a feeling. I have a feeling Naomi's going to cash in on Tiffany before SummerSlam. I know we don't have a lot of time for it, but I just feel like that SummerSlam match, Jade and Tiffany, I don't want to see that. I just don't.
It's dangerous. It's dangerous.
I think Tiffany's been. I think since she won Money in the Bank, she has continued to get better and better and better, and I just don't even want to see that match. Like I'm not even interested in it.
Yeah, not even in the slightest.
I kind of want to see Jade, Bianca, and Naomi in a three-way. That's like, however we get there, that's the match I want to see. But at the end of the day, like unless Jade gets better, better at her wrestling, man, it's still not going to look great.
And then there's the fact that Jade pinned Asuka and Asuka's shoulder was up.
Oh yeah. You called it right away. You were like, "Whoa, what are we doing here? That's not a pin."
Right.
Well, not even that. If you go back and watch the video, Jade's shoulders are down.
I didn't see that part.
Yeah, it was on Dirt Sheets this morning. They put a little thing on it, and you could see on the pin, as the ref's counting 2, both of Jade's shoulders are down as well. So it's not a valid pin.
So maybe there's going to be some kind of controversy about that. And then Asuka gets her title win, and then I'm back vindicated.
We'll see. It was very evident that and Asuka, I think that's her third match since coming back. Keeps looking better and better. Looking better and better. I was excited to see her. At least she made the match watchable. Because she's fantastic. I've always been an Asuka fan. Her aura is good, and her in-ring ability is really good. So I think that Asuka Io Sky match at SummerSlam is going to be a banger.
Banger. And it'll be nice to see Io Sky wrestle because since WrestleMania, she hasn't done anything.
Maybe she wrestles tonight. Maybe. I haven't checked what's on for Raw here in 2 hours.
Oh yeah, 2 hours. We got it. Less than 2 hours. We're in it to win it here today.
We're filming a little early since we've got 4th of July plans this weekend.
Yes, we do.
All right. So the main event, the one you were so angry. I left my house and I called Hannah and I was just chatting with Hannah and I was like, Ron's blood pressure went way through the roof. And I told him CM Punk was going to lose.
It was a good match, and again, it's not going to be at the end of the year, which is a bummer because you have this rivalry that stretches almost 2 decades between two great wrestlers, and it was a good match. It was a really good match. The problem was is that there was more questions inside of the match at the end. I mean, Seth and his group comes down to the ring with marching down with the Money in the Bank briefcase.
I loved it.
Loved it. They come in and you got them attacking CM Punk. You got John Cena and CM Punk working together now in the match because they don't want this to become a triple threat match. Then you got Sami Zayn come down. Then you got Penta come down, and then you got who else came down?
Well, so it was Penta and Sami Zayn who came down.
Yes.
And then Charles Robinson.
Yes.
Came running down the ramp.
And then John Cena took his ass out.
I showed that to my wife, and she could not stop laughing. It was great. I was like, honey, you gotta watch the last like 6 minutes of this match. The rest of the match, you've seen this before.
Yes.
The last 6 minutes of the match, I was like, you gotta watch it. And when he starts running down, and she was like, he is booking. I was like, I know. Just wait. Train wreck. Just takes his ass out. And you could see, like, you know, it was definitely planned because you could see he couldn't stop from looking to the right. Like, where's Cena coming from? Where's he coming from?
Yeah, he didn't have himself totally unprotected, but yeah, he got taken out. But at the end of the day, when CM Punk has John Cena on his shoulders and he's getting ready to do his thing, and then Seth Rollins comes and clocks him with the briefcase for the pin. It was just so anticlimactic with regards to the rivalry, because again, there's not going to be another match between CM Punk and John Cena. So does that keep Seth Rollins and CM Punk hating each other forever? Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe.
It absolutely continues to build into that feud of I am, as like Seth Rollins said it, as long as I'm here, you will never win a title. And that's exactly what Seth did. He made sure he did not win a title.
And so, and touche, Seth Rollins has this briefcase. Is CM Punk going to prevent him from being the one to cash that sucker in? So that's something to look forward to.
We've got, let's be honest, at least from the guys' roster side of things, Seth, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, at the moment, are like the best feud we got.
Right.
With the most storylines and the most hatred and all that. And I guess you could, on the side, you could kind of throw Drew McIntyre with CM Punk and Roman Reigns, because he's got beef with both of them too, right?
Right.
That's really the only feud that is strong with that hatred that we want, where we really want that, just you feel like you said last week, I want to feel like these two guys are coming in to kick the shit out of each other.
Right. They want to hate each other and kill each other.
I want to believe it for that 2 hours I'm watching, right? I just want to believe it. And I think those are the guys that can do that and make us believe that they truly hate each other and put on fantastic matches. So I think it continues that storyline. Also, coming back, Ron, when Seth Rollins hit CM Punk with that briefcase and Cena wins, Cena didn't win clean, right? So yes, he does have the 7-6 record against Punk now, but you didn't beat me clean. You had to cheat, John. You had to get help, right? But then it makes CM Punk still look strong, right? So I think at the end of the day, the Cena heel run, championship run, it's all been about him winning, but he's winning every match cheating, which is things he's never done before, which also continues to make Randy Orton still look strong, CM Punk still look strong, Cody still look strong, right? Versus him beating them all clean.
And he did the face turn again. He would, like when they hugged and he did the face. So what does that mean? Is The Rock coming back, or is that just trying to take away from The Rock? That didn't make any sense to me. For they're hugging and all of a sudden
at some point, The Rock's got to be written back into this whole thing. It's got to happen. If it doesn't, it's just an epic failure. And I know Triple H always likes to say, just wait, just wait. It's a long-term thing. Just wait. Like, he has to come back in this last 6 months of Cena's thing. I don't know if it's to have a match with Cena. I don't know what role the final boss is going to have, but to make this come full circle and make any sense, he has to come back at some point. That's my
Yeah, and you know what? He's 1-1 with The Rock also. So what a great way to have a send-off is in December. Somehow, some way, Cena loses the belt, and his last match is him against The Rock for the who gets the nod of the 2-1 over the other one. That would be pretty cool.
That'd be great. I just don't know if Rock wants to do any more matches.
Right.
After WrestleMania 40, and he put in some work both days. I don't know if he's got too much left in him.
Yeah, he left it all out there that day.
So I was happy. Cena's still the champ. I wanted to make sure when I met him this weekend, I could still call him champ. So I'm excited to talk to the champ. I'm gonna try my best because I paid for a picture opportunity. I want to see if I can talk him into picture with the family, and he's hitting me with the belt. That's
you get that one, dude. That is money.
like have Harmony look like she's like shocked. Hannah's shocked, and he's hitting me with the belt. So if they say I can only get one, I'm gonna tell them, all right, guys, game plan it. Let's go. He's got to hit me with the belt if I only get one picture. We don't even get the nice family picture. We get him hitting me with the belt.
Yes, all the other stuff doesn't matter. That's for sure. Heck yeah.
So because there might be another time we can do a family picture, right? There's only so many times you can have John Cena hit you with a belt.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
So yeah, I was excited about that. It was good. I think it was a good match. I was on ChatGPT earlier preparing for our segment we're about to kick off here in a sec. And it already had that match as one of the top 5 matches of the year. I didn't feel that, but I could, you want to put it in the honorable mention for the Punk, the Cena, the Pipe Bomb, the Dr. Punkonomics that led up to this, and then the match, and then all the craziness that happened. I don't hate it, but it'd be an honorable mention. It wouldn't be in the top 5 of the best matches of 2025.
No, not even close. Not even close. All right, let's get into it, friend.
Let's get into it. How you want to roll? Do you want to give yours? I give mine, or you want to talk it through?
All right. So first, let's do honorable mentions.
Okay.
Do you have any?
I got 2 honorable mentions and 1 outside the company.
Okay.
So this is primarily WWE. So we didn't want to do too much shine on the other companies, but for me, an honorable mention, the Toni Storm Mariah May feud and match is awesome. If you haven't watched those promos and watched the match, you're missing out. That was a fantastic match. If we were doing all of wrestling, I think I would have this match in my top 5. If we were kind of doing all instead of just WWE.
I actually have that on mine as the number 3 honorable mention.
Okay. What else you got? What do you got too?
So at number 2, I have and all of mine are outside of WWE.
Okay.
So so number 2 is Gabe Kidd versus Kenny Omega. If you're a true wrestling fan and you want to see an absolute spot fest, that is an absolute gem. That is one of those matches that you would look at it and watch it again just to see what it is that you missed, because they put so many different match holds and different things inside of that package that it was just lights out 100% in that regards.
I have not heard of that one. I will have to look that one up.
Yeah, that one, you look that up on YouTube and just watch that and just thank you.
At my number 2, I've got the steel cage match which was a main event of a Raw episode of Seth Rollins and CM Punk.
Okay.
And they're fighting back and forth. And then Roman Reigns shows up to take Seth Rollins out of the cage and beat his ass.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
And that's where we start to get the wise man turning as well.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So it had a lot of things that really helped matter as the story went along. So great match, lots of key movements and pieces. So it was up there in my book.
Awesome. My number one outside of the top 5, but it would have been my number one match of the year if we were covering all of wrestling. But it's my number one honorable mention. Hangman, Adam Page versus Will Ospreay. Thank you. Go watch that match at AEW Double or Nothing. That match is absolutely bona fide fire. Promise.
I've heard that one already. I've heard that one. That you're not the first person to mention that. So that is on the list to check out. This one we already talked about. Honorable mention, Nia and Tiffany. Those ladies put their bodies on the line and they were battling.
Banging.
When Tiffany was on the table and Nia got up on the apron and then jumped off onto the table, I was like, oh, damn. Tiffany's boobs, her fake titties are gone. Gone. All that silicone just, boom, out.
Burst, right.
She's going to have to get checked. I mean, it was bad, man. Those girls were doing some stuff. And that's where I just keep looking at, man, this was a match to me that continues to build that legacy for Tiffany that I wasn't like when I first saw her. She's, Robert and I, we have opinions that she's pretty. I know you and Caleb, our other buddy, don't really think she's that pretty. That's fine. We do. She also does pretty well in the ring, but she's gone to the next level. She's leveled up her wrestling, her aura, everything about her. She still plays the ditzy blonde a little bit too much for my liking. I like my women smart, as you know, Ron.
Yes, you do.
So I don't like that too much, but I think Tiffany Stratton's doing a great job, and that was just a hell of a match. Hats off to those ladies.
All right, so now let's get into the ones that would be on our top 5. So I'll start with my number 5. So my number 5 match of the year would be CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, main event, night 1, WrestleMania 41. That match it was a little bit predictable, but in it's a little bit predictable, you got a chance to see 3 of the best to ever do it get in the ring and tell a story that mattered. And It was awesome to see how it played out. All of the athleticism, the violence, the manipulation, and everything that played in together to make it so that match came out is just an absolute gem. So definitely my number 5 match of the year.
And that continues to be a pivotal point in the story because, you've got CM Punk had the wise man in his corner for that match. You had, the wise man choosing Seth Rollins and turning on Roman Reigns and CM Punk. The match was really good. Great match overall. Definitely, that's a good one, man. I struggled with that one. It didn't quite crack my top 5 or 6, but maybe I'm not giving it the due. Probably not giving it its due, but it is definitely. I can't hate that. I can't hate that at all. So I went a little different direction with number 5. This match had me on the edge of my seat. I thought there was so many damn cool stuff in this match. From Worlds Collide, Ethan Page, Javon Evans, Ray Phoenix, and Laredo Kid in a fatal 4-way for the North American NXT title. and it was awesome.
That was an awesome match.
Like,
It didn't crack my top 5 or top 6 or top 7, but it was an awesome match.
but you could see that it was debatable, right? Like, if
Yes.
you put it in your top 5, I think I can make an argument of why it should be in the top 5, just all the different things that were a part of that match. It probably, again, doesn't have quite the same aura as Roman, Seth, and CM Punk, but just what all those guys did, Ray Phoenix with a bunch of cool stuff, Javon Evans, Ray Phoenix and Javon working together. You got Ethan Page doing his all ego stuff and being the bad guy with 3 baby faces coming after him. And he's got to keep on to his title, right? Which he
did, right?
He did, but he's also said that the North American title is better than any title out there because he defends 3 continents. That's why it's the greatest title, because he defends three continents.
And there's 7 continents
against all comers. So, what else you got, my friend?
Number 4, I got from Elimination Chamber, Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn.
Okay.
That match was brutal, and it needed to be brutal. They did everything they needed to do with each other and to each other in a way that just made it so that match, it lived up to the hype. That one was really good. I think about it. I've watched it a few times after the fact, and some of the, after having watched the match once or twice, when you go back and watch it again, just to like see what you missed, that's a good one. So that was one of those matches that if you get a chance, if you missed it, go back and watch it. It's a good one.
Yeah, that's a match where you can tell, breaking kayfabe, those guys are really good friends. Really good friends, because everything they put together was to show off for the fans, but not kill each other.
Right.
And they did a really good job of that, like really having it be brutal and look like it really hurts. And I'm sure a lot of that really hurt what they did. And they put themselves through it. And I think they went into that going, we're going to put on the match of the night. Like, all eyes are going to be on us. So,
and they did a spectacular job of doing that for sure.
Well, we were thinking alike, Ron. I have Kevin Owens versus Cody Rhodes.
Oh.
At Royal Rumble as number 4 for me.
Okay.
Another brutal match.
Brutal. Yes.
If Kevin Owens never wrestles again, I will always remember 2025. And these 2 matches that he put on, and I almost actually just added them both as 4 because I felt like both of them were very similar, but just brutal, over the top. That Alabama Slammer through the ladder.
Oh, through the ladder was out of control.
Like I was, and I didn't watch it live for obvious reasons, but I did watch it on playback, and I must have rewound that like 5 to 10 times of just like,
how could he not gotten hurt from that? Right.
I was trying to look like, okay, you could kind of tell the ladder was worked on a little bit, so they knew that was going to snap. But how does he protect his neck? The way, like, because when he hit and he just goes, oh man,
yeah, tough.
Those guys really did it. Code, and again, I know, and I thought this really helped raise Cody again right before WrestleMania, right? Because that match was, prolific. That was a great feud between him and Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens just being crazy. The match had a little bit of everything. I felt like they told a great story. Also, when the match was done, the story was done. It was like, okay, we're done. We did this. Yeah. We're good. We don't need to do this again. Now you can go do it with Sammy.
What's your number 3? Or number 4?
That was number 4 for me. You tell me what number 3 is.
So number 3 for me was Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens, Royal Rumble. That was number 3 for me. All the things you said, and it was a perfect feud. I mean, like for all the crap that I give Triple H about certain things, his feuds recently have been really good. I mean, he had CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. He had Kevin Owens versus Cody Rhodes. He's developing, I hope, Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton. He's developing John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. So there's some, but he's singularly focused with regards to these matches. But I will tell you that number 3, Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens, that was a good match. Good match. You're number 3.
So this match had I debated putting this 1.
Ooh. But it came down to 3.
It came down to 3, and it's just probably because of its significance and the TLC match on SmackDown between Street Profits, DIY, and Motor City Machine Guns was one for the ages, man. They did original TLC and TLC 2 really proud. Like, that was a hell of a match.
Yes.
And I feel like it gave me that feeling of watching the original TLC just with different characters, right? Anytime you can do that, you're doing pretty good. You're doing pretty good. So those guys all put their bodies on the line. They all did a bunch of stuff. They all looked beat to shit the following week. That's when Fraxium got a match against Street Profits, and they won. But the Street Profits were all banged up. You know, had their ribs covered and all that. I mean, that match was awesome. You remember that one?
I do remember that one. That was one of my favorite matches that I've ever seen on network TV is that match because they let it all on the line, and there was some it felt like disrespect, like we're not on the main PLE, so we're going to show you what we can do right here right now. So that there was a lot of I'm not really a big DIY fan in WWE. When they were at NXT, they were outstanding, and their feud that they have between each other was outstanding. Ciampa, that's one of my favorite wrestlers ever. He's not quite the same level that he was in NXT, but I love that match on Friday Night SmackDown for sure.
All right, buddy. What was number 2 coming down the home stretch?
Coming down the home stretch, my number 2 match is from SmackDown Triple Threat. Motor City Machine Guns versus Street Profits versus DIY. We've already talked about it. That's what my favorite match, second favorite match of the year was.
Okay. Man, you didn't have my second one on the list. Surprised. Based on where it was and the aura and these 3 ladies, they did their thing, man. That Io, Rhea, Bianca at WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, bro. I still remember we watched that live. That was the opening of night 2, I believe.
Night 2, yep.
And we were just like, holy crap, like that blew everything from night 1 away, including the Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and Roman Reigns match. Like it was just a magnificent story unfolded. And everybody looked great. They just all looked amazing. Like that is a fantastic match for the ages. And those ladies, I give those ladies so much credit for that one. And that was, again, once you're talking 1, 2, 3, it was a debate of, is this one based, WrestleMania championship, all the things that were at play, but I couldn't give it the top spot.
Okay. So my number 1 match of 2025 so far is Io Sky versus Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania 41.
All right, there it is. There it is.
That match is a top 10 contender for best WrestleMania matches of all time. That one will show up on the list. It will be no less than number 20, but it's qualified, in my opinion, to be a top 10 of all time because that was an absolute banger. Those chicks put on a like their scripting of the match and their setup of the match and everything. Their timing of the match was absolutely perfect. There was every move inside the match was seamless. Every person in there, they were uplifted inside of the match, and it was incredible to see the champion defend against the two people that had been punking her for weeks. That was awesome to just watch that storyline play out in the favor of the champ for once. So it was awesome to bear witness to that.
Oh yeah, and I mean 1-2. Such a good match, such a good match. And I gotta one of the things I have to do here in the next 2 weeks, over the next 2 weeks, I have to put together my education of Robert wrestling. What am I gonna? What are we gonna sit down and watch all day to teach him about wrestling? And I'm trying to put that. I got to put that list together.
Oh shoot, I could put him together a list, friend. We'll collaborate with them. I'll give you, if I gave you my top 25 matches of all time, where I could sit there and watch them, with number one being Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels one. Um, wow. I was live and in person at WrestleMania 25 to watch that, and people were screaming, Undertaker, HB, up to the top of. There was this dude, he was dressed like the Undertaker, and I was wearing kind of a Shawn Michaels outfit, and we were screaming at each other, and we were this close to each other, saying the other person's thing. It was so incredible, so incredible. The best moment of my entire life in a WrestleMania moment, because I wasn't even watching the match. I was screaming at this dude that looked like the Undertaker, and he was screaming at me because I was the Black Shawn Michaels.
Gotta love that. Gotta love that. My number one came out of nowhere.
Okay.
And I battled back and forth. I try to talk about not being a prisoner of the moment, right? And trying to make sure you give everything its due, let it stew for a little bit. But when I come back and forth, man, I had no idea that this match was gonna be what it was. The Chad Gable versus El Hijo del Vikingo match at Worlds Collide had me in my feels, man. And I didn't really have a rooting interest for Chad, and I didn't really have a rooting interest for Del Vikingo because I didn't really know him. So I'm just sitting there watching it go back and forth, and man, I just there was great brutality, there was crazy moves. Those guys put on just a fantastic match that I just can't I just couldn't get it out of my head. It was still that's the match. Even Io and Bianca and Rhea, I love those ladies, but I could not get away from this match. I said it at the time. This was the match of the year. I'm sticking to it. This is the match of the year so far.
I remember you hit me up about it because you were like, dude, this match is so great, and I hadn't watched it yet. And I agree. I actually have it on my sheet here at number 3. I don't know if you can see it, but I have it at number 3. And then I sat back and I rewatched all of the ones that I was talking about, and that one just fell off because I was like, these other ones just superseded that one for me. But I give it mad respect.
Well, and I think the only thing that kind of can bring it down is it doesn't quite have the same feel. It's not it's a AAA championship match, but it's not WWF undisputed champion. It's not it's not for one of the big dogs. But that match came out of nowhere, and damn, I love that match. I will be more than happy to watch that again a few more times before the end of the year, as we count down the top 10 of the year when it's all said and done.
Oh yeah, when we get to the end of the year, we're gonna have our top. Actually, as a matter of fact, let's do this to make it even sweet. Let's count down our top 40 matches of the year, and we'll get together and collaborate. And our last 4 episodes of the year, leading up to the end of the year, going to the new year 2026, we'll have our number one, and we'll do it. And we'll do
Top 40?
our top 40.
Top 25?
Top
40's
40.
hard, man. 40's hard. That's a lot of matches to try to figure out which ones were the best.
You're trying to be an old man on me. Let's get it, bro. We're trying to do our show different than everybody else, bro.
Trying to put me to work, Ron. Damn.
So, hey, when you got your days off, what else you gonna do? So, man, we really appreciate you guys tuning in to the program. Here at Smack Talk and Raw. That's Pinky and I'm Ron. And we always end our show with, if you're not down with us, we got 2 words for you. Suck it! See you next week, guys. Happy 4th of July, everybody.
Have a great 4th of July, everyone. I'll catch up with you, Ron.